All right, so I'm very excited to bring you this teaching today because this teaching is going to be all about self-discovery, which is what I do. So I love self-discovery because self-discovery allows you to go in and it allows you to think about all of the things that you think you know about yourself. And it allows you to take those very same things that you think are limiting you, all the stories from the past, all the things that you've been through, all the struggles that you've endured in your life. Self-discovery allows you to take those very same stories and instead of using them to create limiting beliefs about yourself, what self-discovery does is it allows you to create empowering beliefs about yourself. And it's the same story. It's just that the mindset turns it around and allows you to recreate a new version of the truth that is going to empower you to launch into the next place in your life. Because if we stay stuck, what ends up happening is it's like a piece of the puzzle is missing and you can feel it. I don't have to tell you that it's there. You can feel it. You understand within yourself, you have these little places where there's like one side and then another, but in the middle, there's like something missing. And what's missing is the learning. What's missing is the piece of the puzzle that you are supposed to be able to fit into place, but you're doing it in the wrong way right now since you're not discovering anything new. And this is why I love to coach my clients on self-discovery. So we have a whole system set into place that's called Crush That Food Thing Self-Discovery System. And I love coaching women in self-discovery because instead of giving them the answers to the questions that they have about that missing puzzle piece, instead of telling them what I think, it's not important what I think. It's only important what you think. And if your thoughts are limiting you, well, if your thoughts are the very same thoughts that are keeping you stuck, then why do you want to keep those thoughts? It doesn't make sense. So what self-discovery allows you to do is it allows you to take those thoughts and it allows you to expand your mind so that if your mind is closed, you can't open it to allow new things to come in. So a closed mind cannot learn new information. And if you're struggling with the information that you have already from your past, from the things that you already know about yourself, well, then what new is ever going to happen? So if you say that you have a problem with emotional eating, and you say that you know what that problem is, and sometimes you can even link that problem back to the past. And you may want to say, well, I'm not blaming anybody, like the past is the past and it's in the past and that's great. That's awesome, except for when the actions that you're taking in the present are hindering you because of the information that you had from the past. So if your results that you're getting from what you know are different than what you say you want, well, there's a piece of the puzzle missing. And a lot of times what people think is they think that they're filling that void, right? Because we hear this all the time. Think about your own circumstances when you're emotional eating. We think like we're filling a void. We're numbing ourselves. We're trying to get out of pain, right? And if that place that's in us that we can't seem to connect the dots to feels like a void, but then you're filling it with food, well, think about logically what food does in your body. It doesn't stay forever. It's used. It's used as energy, and the parts that are not used as energy come out in waste. So it basically like does what it needs to do in your body and then it's gone, right? You can't live without food. So it's clear that when you're eating food that it's doing something and then it goes away. So if you're trying to actually fit a piece of the puzzle into your life that's missing, well, choosing food's not going to be the right thing, period. We have to figure out what it is that that piece is missing, and we have to figure out how to recreate or fit that piece of the puzzle in with something that's going to be achievable and also sustainable, right? Because if you're using food to fill the piece of the puzzle, the void that's there, the food's going to go away. Then you need new food and more food and more food, right? And so sometimes we use, food that's not healthy for us, quote unquote, but sometimes we use food that is healthful for us. We try and go on diets. We try and eat our salads. We try and eat all our protein. We try and do that. But at the same time that you're doing that, you're still using it to fill a void, right? Because you're trying to fix a problem that you have. And the problem is there's a piece of the puzzle missing. So whether you're choosing the wrong foods to eat or you're choosing the quote unquote right foods to eat to fill this piece of the puzzle, it's still all shit. And I'm sorry if that feels uncomfortable to you. I'm sorry if that doesn't feel like the answer that you want. You might want the answer that's just like, if you just eat these specific foods, everything's going to be okay. And it might be for a little while, but how many times have you tried that? How many times has that not worked for you? And that's where self-discovery comes in, because let's put it this way. 95% of your goals are going to be achieved through your mindset. And if your mindset is closed, then no new information can come to you. And if no new information can come to you, then you're going to have to try and figure this out in a strategic way. But strategy is really only 5% of how you could possibly get to your goals. Strategy is a thing, yeah, but it's not the thing that's going to get you unstuck. And it's not the thing that is going to fill the void of the piece of the puzzle that you are missing, period. So I'm going to share with you 10 things that I did not ever think that could be possible for me. It was like a paradigm shift. It was like I thought that I was this way, period, end of story. And that nothing that I did could ever cause my thoughts to shift and change. Like I really felt that way. I felt, and I'm going to go into my phone because I have this in my phone. So I thought that I could never, ever keep chocolate, cookies, sweet treats, whatever, in my home. Period. End of story. Now, I'll share with you the other day at Super Bowl, we had a bunch of, stuff, whatever. And the family members whose house I was at said, like, get this out of the house. We don't need it here. We're not, out, out, out. And I was like, oh, I'll take it home. Because it was like those cheesecake bites from Costco. And they're not healthy. I get it. There were 63 of them. There was about, 40 left. They're in my freezer right now. That felt really good. That felt good. It was like, I'll take them. No problem. I'll put them in my freezer. And there they sit. And there they stay. And in the past, oh my gosh, are you crazy? I could never do that. Never. I was the one that was like, nope, not for me. Can't take it home. Because I couldn't. Because if I did, it would gnaw on my head. So every minute, like while I was sitting here talking to you, I'd be thinking about those cheesecake bites. And now it actually feels really good to be able to trust myself, to be able to say, no problem. Yeah, I'll take them. I'll put them in my house. And then to be able to feel like I believe myself. And they are sitting in my freezer, and I will not eat those. Not because I'm on a diet. Very different mindset. I will eat them if they come out. If my mom comes over and we take out some cheesecake bites, and I absolutely will. I had 3 the other day. But they sat on the countertop for a couple, an hour or so. And I tried each flavor. There was raspberry, there was cheesecake, and then there was like a chocolate one. And that was it. The whole rest of the night, it wasn't like, oh, let me see if I can grab another cheesecake bite while I run to the bathroom and not like pretend that I'm not eating it. And right? Because that's what we do. That's what I used to do anyways. That's one thing. So think about that for yourself, right? If you think that you will never be able to trust yourself to do what I am doing now, you're wrong. And so if that's a thing for you, I want you to start to put it into your head. Start to engage your thoughts with that we're the same. I am no different than you. I don't know about how that feels to have something in my freezer and then not be able to control myself and have it gnawing on my head all day. I don't know that because like I read an emotional eating book. I only know that because I experienced it, period. And I know you know that. I know that you can feel that because you can't make this shit up. You just can't. The second thing, I wonder if anybody's watching today. Hang on. See, I'm live, but I don't see anybody watching today. I like when you ladies are here with me. Okay, so the second thing that I want you to think about that you might feel like you know yourself so well, but can shift, is I never thought I could go an entire day without thinking about food at all until I was hungry. Now, this was huge because I had an agenda. I would wake up every morning with my oh so familiar mantra. Today is going to be a great day. And I planned in the morning. I started out with my water. I started out with egg whites and oatmeal. I started out with my, my fitness pal, like my calorie checker. I would write all my stuff in all day long. And some days I did okay with that. I guess I'd get to the end of the day and I'd be like, wow, look at me. I only had 1,300 calories today. Woo! And then I would try and do it all again the next day. Well, that only lasted for a couple of days because let's face it, like I don't know about you, but I'm busy. I don't want to be thinking about food all day. I don't want to be tracking calories and tracking proteins and what I've done. Like I'm not a machine, like I'm a person, right? So I don't want to live like that. Do you? And I didn't think that it was possible for me to live any other way. But I promise you, it is. So think about that for yourself. Can you envision that? The third thing that I never thought that I could do, I never thought that my emotions would not run or ruin my day. My emotions used to dictate what type of day it was going to be. And typically that emotional piece started for me first thing in the morning when I hopped on that scale. How about you? What changes your shift for the day? What changes your emotions? And it also would change with my foods because sometimes I would feel like skippity-doo-dah, and all positive, great. And then something around 3 o'clock in the afternoon would like click in my head. And then I would eat because that was about the time that I binged every day. And then it changed. So now my mood changed. It shifted me. And I didn't want that to happen. In fact, I felt that I was using the food to shift me back into my positive mindset because it seemed like it started off so, stellar. And then if like one little thing would hit me in the head, like getting on the scale and like feeling that feeling in my head, like, oh, I thought I was doing good, right? If one little thing would tick me off, somebody would cut me off, somebody would tell me I did something wrong, I'd get a bad phone call from a family member that I hurt someone's feeling, oh my God, I don't know, like something, it would shift me into feeling bad about myself. And then I thought that I needed the food to feel better. I was wrong because remember, that piece of the puzzle was missing already. And me using food to fill it was actually causing me to feel worse because I felt like I was filling it with something, but it was almost like an invisible, like I couldn't, it's like grasping at a rope, but it's just not there anymore. Like it's just not there. So you cannot use food to fill that void. So I used to think that I was on an emotional roller coaster, and I never thought that I could get out of that place in my mindset. But here I am, and I'm out of that place. So I promise you, if you feel that you know yourself so well and that food, you need food to be able to feel better about yourself, you're wrong. And I would like to help you discover why that is. I used to also feel like I could never look in the mirror and like what I see. There are days that I'm bloated. It's true. And my stomach might pooch out a little bit more. There are days that I wake up feeling like flatter and I feel like it's okay. I never judge myself. I never do. I never think about it even. I don't get out of the shower every time and go directly looking at my stomach and telling myself how awful it is. That was a thing every day for me. Beating the shit out of myself mentally. I know you're doing it, and I want you to know why you're doing it. And that's what self-discovery will help you do. It will help you figure out why you're doing that, because that's a thing. And I don't think that you want that thing. So, number 5, I never thought that I could get rid of that nagging feeling of guilt that lurked in the shadows of my mind all the time. Tell me if you feel this way. And I didn't think that I could ever get rid of that feeling. I just didn't. It was like always there in the back, in the back, in the back. And through self-discovery, I figured out why it was there. And so that's where self-discovery will help you take your past stories, because there was a link. There was a link to it. But every day, it was like, as soon as I tried to get rid of that feeling and feel skippity-doo-dah good about myself, it was almost like a hook. Like every day I would go fishing, right? And then I would reel in the guilt feeling, and attached to it was the food. So it was like, I thought I was using the food sometimes to feel better about myself. But what I realized through self-discovery was that I was actually using the food to get me to the feeling of guilt. Because when I would do good things and I felt proud of myself and whatever, it was this little nagging feeling in the back of my mind that was like, yeah, that's not you. That's not the real you. The real you needs to feel guilty all the time. And you remember that, girl. So come on back here, eat your food, and then you'll get to feel guilty again. And I didn't realize that's what I was doing, and it was maddening. So that's what self-discovery will help you to get through. Guilt, regret, shame, blame, all of that. It goes away when you expand your mind into a new level of awareness, which is what we do in Crush That Food Thing Self-Discovery System. We bring you to a new level of awareness, because the level that you're at right now is minimized, right? It's narrow, because the only thing that you think is that this is how you need to think. It's just not true. So let me know in the chat if you feel like this too. I never thought that I could get into a routine that was 100% healthful to my mental and physical well-being. And by this, I mean that I was going on and off of these strict diets. So I was thinking that I was eating healthful, but then on the flip side of that, I was eating horribly, right? So it was terrible for my health, because I was having lethal doses of sugar, lethal doses of fat, lethal doses of salt, right? I would go into that. They don't have them open right now because of COVID, but I would go into the frozen yogurt. We have this place here, it's called Yogurt Land, right? And they have all the little trays and stuff. And I would kind of know it wasn't kind of, like I knew what I was doing. I would go in there and I would just like taste every flavor. Like I had to get the 6 tasting cups so that I could just taste all the things so that I could get more in before I even started. And I would go down the line, and then sometimes I would even take the rainbow sprinkles and I would put them in the bottom of the cup, make sure I got a big pile of those in there. Reese's peanut butter cups, chocolate chips, cookies, it was just in. And this thing cost like $15. Seriously. Tell me if you've ever spent $15 on a thing of frozen yogurt. And it's not like I'm rich or anything. This was like a strain, but I didn't care because I needed that right now. And so I didn't think, and that could have been after an entire day of healthful eating. It was all dependent on what happened in my day. And it was like I snuck like a thief because it's not like I did share that time with my family sometimes. We'd go out for frozen ice cream, but many times I did it alone. And I would sit in the car and I would just eat it, and like people were calling me, like, my family, like, where are you? And I wouldn't even answer the phone. It was like, and I made shit up. Like I just would tell them that I was somewhere else, or, it took me a long time, or there was an accident on the road or something. Like I just didn't think that I could ever do things that were healthful for my mental and physical well-being, because that was obviously horrible for my physical well-being. And for my mental well-being. It was terrible. It was terrible to lie. It was terrible to not confess when I walked in the door, oh yeah, I just bought $15 worth of frozen yogurt and piled it in my car. Like I lied about that stuff. That was a betrayal of my integrity. It hurt me more than I can ever confess that it hurt me. It was the worst part of the process, honestly. Let's see. So, I never thought that I could go to bed before 10 p.m. and stay sleeping throughout the night. Yeah, this was a thing. Because I felt so badly about myself, I think this is a piece of the puzzle that seemed to be connected with my food thing. And I call it a food thing because there are other things besides food that will take you to those bad feelings about yourself. And sleep for me was one of them. It was like I didn't feel like I deserved to rest. So at nighttime would come and I'd be headed towards the bed and then like something would click and next thing you know, I'm doing laundry, I'm up and then because I was up, then I would get hungry again. So it became a pattern, right? And this is why it's a paradigm shift, right? It's something that I believed that I had to do. So for whatever reason, right? And that's what we say, for whatever reason. Now I know the reason. I know why I did that. And if you work with me, that becomes something that I share openly. Like we talk about it. We talk about all of the things. And I know I share here very openly too. But when you actually work with me and you come into the Crush That Food Thing self-discovery system world, which is a completely different universe than where you're at right now. This is a wonderful group of amazing women. But when you actually get to work with me, we shift into a place where we are extremely intimately connected and where you will hear all kinds of new discoveries that I had made along the way so that I can help you get out of that mindset too, because you don't need it. Let's see. Oh, now I go to sleep, like literally clockwork before 10 p.m. And, or let's say between 10 and 11, let's be fair. And I do not get up. I sleep like a rock. Like I really sleep. I dream. I didn't dream for like 20 years. I didn't know that I needed to, but like, wow, it really makes a difference when you dream. You feel rested. You feel good. You feel good about yourself. You really do. It's neat. I just didn't know it existed. And so that's why I say that these are 10 things that you might not know about yourself because I didn't know them about myself, period. Last time I remember dreaming before now was like when I was a kid. Seriously. I wonder if you feel that way too. I never thought that I could eat anything that I wanted without feeling guilt, shame, blame, or regret. Yeah, this was interesting. The other day I had somebody message me and we were talking and she said, I don't believe you. She said, I don't believe you that you can eat anything you want and not feel guilty. She said, I don't think that that's possible. And that is where she will stay until the mindset opens up to a new level of thinking. Because even if you can't do it now, doesn't mean it's not possible. And if you put yourself into a locked box where it's like, well, Lisa, that's you and this is me. Like, you don't know what my life was like. You don't know what I feel. You don't know what I deal with on a day-to-day basis, all of that stuff. And I want to say that I get it. I really do. I'm divorced twice. I have 3 kids. I've got stepkids. Like, listen, there's things, right? I own my own business. There's things. That doesn't change the fact that I no longer feel guilty, shameful, regretful, or dissatisfied with what I'm choosing to eat, right? And I didn't think that that was possible because I could eat pizza, I could eat a burger, I could eat fries. I told you I just had those cheesecake things the other day. I eat whatever I want. It's just that I don't want to eat to fill a void now. And so I don't eat that much. I don't eat like I used to eat. And I didn't know that that was a possibility. I didn't know that I could do that. So there's no real thought about food. I keep clean food in the house. I like what I cook. It's like, it's not a thing anymore, which is quite amazing. I would love for you to experience this too, like all of my clients are, which is awesome. Hi, Tracy. Okay, so let's see where we're at. So I never thought I could stop thinking about past mistakes that I had made, or that I would ever be able to stop the mindless chatter that played havoc in my head. Yeah, this is important, really, really important. When you work on yourself from the inside out, and you work on self-discovery, and you work on the pieces of the puzzle that are missing, and you stop trying to like fit food into those pieces of the puzzle, and then you look back and you're like, well, I thought I filled the void. Oh, it's gone, right? It's like the food doesn't stay there. So the puzzle piece is always going to be missing until you tap into the root cause of it, and until you recreate the feelings around why that piece is missing, right? There's a purpose here. So if you feel like you just need motivation, right? And that you can't get motivated. No, you don't need motivation at all. You need a purpose of why you're doing this. And what I would do is I would have that monkey brain, just would sit in my head over and over and over. Same scenarios. Not only that, I would recreate scenarios in my mind that were really causing pain for me. I mean, I would think about things. I would think about horrible things. How would I feel if, God forbid, like somebody died? Like, I would prepare myself for this, right? Because I wanted to know exactly how I would feel, exactly what I would think, exactly. Do you know why I did that? I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust myself. And that was a piece of the puzzle that was missing for me. Because I didn't trust myself, I had to prepare, right? And I didn't trust myself because of all the past mistakes that I thought I made. And I also couldn't forgive myself for those past mistakes. Because what you think is like, once you know better, you should do better, which is great and all, except for you have to go back in and be able to forgive yourself for making the mistakes that you made when you didn't know any better. You cannot hold yourself accountable for mistakes that you made when you didn't know, when like that wasn't your intention. So yes, I've hurt many, many, many people in my life. I have people in my life that do not forgive me for the things that I did in the past. And I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. And I have to be. Because if I'm not, then I can't move forward. And I have really important things to do. Because I didn't have all of this crap happen for nothing. Right? I didn't experience all of the pain and all of the things and all of the bad choices. I didn't experience that so that I could sit there and continue to punish and hurt myself and basically kill myself over it. That's not why I'm here. And that's not why you're here either. So I really hope that through this process of self-discovery that you will take back what is rightfully yours, which is your life. You deserve that. no matter what, period. Let's see, 9. I never thought that I could, oh wait, I did that one already. See that? I went through going back to it again. Okay, 10. I never thought that I could love myself from the inside out and that I would ever be sharing my struggles with emotional eating with all of you. I kept this a secret forever. It was huge and it was painful. And I had to do a lot of stuff to keep myself stuck, right? Because I had to back up my lies. I had to keep that going. So in order to keep that going, I had to create more lies. I had to create more ways that I could keep myself stuck because I would never let myself off the hook, right? So I had to keep myself baited. I had to keep like fishing for new stuff and keep pulling in all the bad feelings because I couldn't release them. I hadn't freed myself yet. So through the process of self-discovery, this is what you will learn. This is what I teach you. I teach you how to do this. And hi, Tracy. Yes, I do. Yes, hi. I know you're struggling with emotional eating. So let's talk. Thank you. So let's go over just a couple of things, right? This is about 95% mindset and 5% strategy. So in Crush That Food Thing Self-Discovery System, I provide you with a program. It is a step-by-step process. But you could have that program and you could take it away with you and you could go through all the modules and all the learning things and all the listening to me talk. You could sit here and listen to me from here until the end of time. It's not going to change anything for you. It might change a little. You may get a few ideas rumbling around in your head until the first hiccup or until the first roadblock. And when you hit those hiccups and roadblocks and you don't have the support and the accountability and the love and the understanding to be able to know what to do with that information, you'll go right back to square one. And the reason why I know that for sure is because I did it a million times and I had to make those mistakes. And it took me forever. It really did. I've been on the journey of self-discovery for 6 years and I learn something new every day. I have to tell you, I learn something new every day. And I share this openly with my group. Like they know when I have a hiccup. And I learn from it because now my mindset is prepared to be able to take that limiting belief, that limiting information and the hiccups, right? The things that roadblocks, the things that feel like they're stopping me. And I know how to take them and I know how to make them into something. So now I use them as my lessons to launch me into the next place in my life. Now, because I'm at a different level of awareness than my clients are, what I love to do is I love to share with them the intimate details of my life, right? The intimate spaces where I get stuck and the newness of what I learn for myself, right? And we have a system that we do this, right? So Crush That Food Thing is one system. And then after that, we bring you into another program called Grow. And that is where you will learn how to really take everything that you're learning in the first part and push that into the rest of your life. And that's when we start to bring in new, helpers, people that help. So we have a nutritionist that comes in. We have and she's a culinary chef. We're working on getting some trauma specialists in. I have another coach that's doing stuff for limiting beliefs and for childhood traumas and also like self-talk from childhood. So we have a lot of opportunities within Crush That Food Thing. So I really would love to be able to offer you a free call to see if you qualify to work with us because it's not for everybody. And I know that. It will be eventually if you're struggling in this space. It just might not be ready for you right now. And once we do this call, I'll let you know what I think. So that way you're going to be able to get an educated opinion of where it is that you're at in your journey. Because that's what this is about. It's 95% mindset, 5% strategy. I could tell you the exact steps of what to do. Chances of you doing it are slim to none on your own forever, right? And that's why I have coaches too. I have support. So why shouldn't you? All right, so let's finish this up. I just want to make sure that I don't have anything else that I wanted to say. Yeah, this is an interesting one. You cannot outperform your mindset. So we want to get you into the right mindset, which is why self-discovery is such a valuable piece of the puzzle. So let's get it filled up and let's get, I have on this call a clarity call. So go ahead and book one. Okay, Tracy. Yes, let's book a call. You can see that the link is attached there, and I hope to be able to chat with you soon. Let's see if I can paste in. Oh, yeah, I can. Look at that. I think I just pasted it in. Yeah, here we go. In the chat, you can book a clarity call and we will chat together. All right. Bye, ladies. Thank you.